Welcome, listeners, to another life-enhancing and soul-fulfilling podcast here at the OIC. My name is Noah Hanson, here with Kevin Peterson. How are you doing today, Kevin?
Blessed and highly favored and doing very, very well.
The life-enhancing and soul-fulfilling addition to this intro is our intention for you listening to this podcast today. We want you to leave this podcast feeling like your life has been enhanced, that your soul is the fulfilling factor in your life, because when you connect with your soul, you connect with fulfillment in every way, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. In a different order, Kevin, what you like to say, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, aka ESP.
Yes.
Today, we're following the journaling podcast, and the journaling podcast covered all the benefits that you can experience through journaling and how to do it properly. So naturally progressing from the journaling podcast, it's a life organizer. It's a life clarifier. So Kevin, what is the natural progression once you've learned how to journal properly?
From there, this is my specialty, but there's a deeper walk or a longer walk and a deeper dive into this. But when Noah was talking about the emotional, spiritual, and physical side of things, is that we're talking about the mentality of what now to do with the information that has been written down. Mm-hmm. How to be able to make point A and B become the equation of C, the completed version of who you need to be.
Yeah, but it's a harmonious integration into your life and lifestyle.
Yep. So with the mindset, you've got to be able to get that right to where you start to be able to experience and see the power within you, to be able to then have it resonate through you, to be able to then have a positive conclusion in the end.
Yes.
Right? So how does one do that, Noah?
In order to have a positive conclusion in the end, the basics of this is a higher power. You know, this is one of the steps in Alcoholics Anonymous, is acknowledge a higher power. Acknowledging a higher power in your life doesn't necessarily mean, bowing down and worshiping any one God, but it does mean understanding that there's something greater, there's something deeper, there's something that your life has a purpose for. Correct. And of course, reaching that purpose in fulfillment in life is the positive conclusion.
Correct.
So that's kind of a general basic. It's not very specific in what I just said. So can you specify a little bit how adding a higher power to your train of thoughts, to your mental management makes a difference? Positive
mental attitude is a concept first introduced in 1937 by Napoleon Hill in the book Think and Grow Rich. The book never actually uses the term, but discusses about the importance of positive thinking as a contributing factor of success. Mm-hmm. So, aside from that book, you need to be able to, when you're journaling, to be able to have things come together to where then mentally your mind takes over to allow your physical body to be able to resonate with the information that you have written down. So in the previous podcast about journaling and the power of journaling, please listen to that podcast. This one deals with now the mindset, now getting the mindset right, to be able to think differently, to be able to process the information differently, to not take things so personally, not to be able to have that victim mentality, to no longer be able to be disempowered, but to be able to find a unique, natural alternative to what's going on in your mental state of mind.
Yes, exactly. It's a soul connection, which is why I'm talking about a higher power here, because for a lot of people, that higher power is a soul. Your souls are created by God with a purpose. And if you don't connect with that purposefulness in life, then you're not going to have a positive conclusion. It's more going to be drifting through, not necessarily not having any control over your life, but kind of drifting through without ever reaching a fully purposeful conclusion. The reason I say that is because in order for there to be a fully purposeful conclusion, it has to involve the afterlife. It has to involve some environment that's higher than just what this realm of being is, this physical realm. If you believe that when you die, there's nothingness and you don't go on, then there's really no real reason to have set morals in life. There's no real reason to have a set purpose for your life besides what's in the world. And in order for you to have a purpose that's higher than what's in the world and what's available to you in the world, such as gaining money or gaining, this or that, you have to have an idea or a
foundation.
Yep, a foundation that's based in the fact that we do go on, that there is a meaning and a purpose to everything that we do on a daily basis. It's not meaningless.
Yeah. So a positive mindset, positive thinking is a mental and emotional attitude that focuses on the bright side of life and expects positive results. Mm-hmm. Having a positive mindset means making positive thinking a habit.
Yes.
So let's focus on that. We're talking about habits now.
Yeah.
So we're talking about mental habits that become the driving force into who you actually are, right?
Yes, and Kevin, how long does it take with common practice on a daily basis almost to be able to establish a habit within yourself?
It takes 90 days to be able to create a positive habit from a negative habit. It takes another 90 days to be able to believe in that habit. Then from there, and you're seeing the results, it then takes another 90 days for you wanting, and through your own free will, to want to be able to continue doing it in every way, shape imaginable, right? The reason why there's these 90-day stages is because it takes really, some people can be able to do it sooner, but the 90 days has been a general rule because you have to be able to really think about things. You really have to reflect about things. You have to be able to fine-tune things within you to be able to keep whatever it is as a goal flowing in you and through you as a person. And so the first 90 days is just getting used to the idea that you have a higher power, that you have a higher ability, that you have this inner strength and wherewithal within you that you may not have had previously. And then the second 90 days is being able to go, okay, I really truly get to be able to see changes that are going on in my life. And you start to do these fine little tweaks in your character to be able to keep yourself on the right pathway. Then the other 90 days is really being able to see a clear pathway in front of you to be able to see where you need to be able to make all the necessary changes and adjustments. And the last final 90 days is just allowing you to be able to walk into the positive authority of who you are as a person and being able to have mastery over those things that once mentally kept you locked and sedated in the environment for which you are now out of.
Yes, even the Bible says that Jesus had to grow into his own wisdom.
Absolutely.
Now, if Jesus had to grow into his own wisdom and he is God, then what makes you think that humans can just naturally, at the drop of a hat, adopt something and establish something within themselves? That's why you're saying that it takes a good amount of time to be able to actually firmly establish the authority within yourself to be able to give the Sermon on the Mount like Jesus did and speak with authority to other people.
Yeah, because you're basically fighting yourself, because when you start doing this process, you start mentally fighting yourself, and because you're so used to the programming of your past self that you start to have these doubts, you start to have these concerns, you start to have these deficiencies within you, because you now realize that, man, it's now just up to me. I can't put blame or excuse on anything else except for me. And so because of that, you have to be able to do it more gently.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's another reason why I included a higher power in your question. How do you reach that positive conclusion? Because if you're doing it alone the entire way, then you're doing it alone at the end. Mm-hmm. And a real reason why nihilism, a nothing matters type of mindset, really doesn't work in establishing these types of positive habits in life in a firm, foundational way, is because if you believe that nothing really matters, then the positive thinking really kind of falls short. It's kind of superficial. It's like you're telling yourself something and you kind of believe it, but you still, in the back of your mind, it's still kind of a lie.
Yeah.
But if you have that higher power, that higher calling from the higher power, then you realize, there is purpose. It isn't all for naught. And what I'm doing now really does have a wave effect that goes beyond just this lifetime.
Yeah. So to be able to set the foundation, so how to think positive thoughts. First and foremost is focus on the good things. Challenging situations and obstacles are a part of life. Number 2 is practice gratitude. Gratitude is very important. Number 3 is keep a gratitude journal. So a part of your journaling from the previous podcast is that you're going to institute this gratitude level within your journaling so that you can be able to see what you're actually grateful for.
Right.
And then number 4 is open yourself up to humor. We fail as human beings, and that's why we like comedy so much, and especially dark comedy, because when we hear it from someone else, it can be really funny. But when you are the source of the funniness, it doesn't really become funny, right? And so dark humor, we need to be able to laugh off the pressures and the tensions and the stresses that we have as human beings so that we can be able to be kinder to ourselves and how we view these negative things, right?
That's right.
So number 5, spend time with positive people. If you're not an outgoing person, all you have to do is go to an event. You can be able to go to a seminar, rally, a function. You can be able to go to all different kinds of things where positive people are going to be at. And all you have to do is marinate within those positive people, even if you're not positive. And eventually your body's going to feel the positive environment within that room, and you're going to be wanting to be a part of it, right?
Yeah, it may be uncomfortable at first, but that's the whole point of getting outside of your comfort zone, is to get out of something that's been holding you down, holding you back.
Number 6, practice positive self-talk. The reason why I'm going to expand on this is because this is the fruit within your perfection. If you can be able to master your vocabulary mentally, physically, the words that come out of your mouth become a gift onto everyone that you speak to.
Yeah.
And so being able to have positive self-talk, I am a good person. I am doing the right things. I am. As soon as you put I am in front of anything, you're putting the great I am within everything that you say and then do.
Yeah. And you got to be careful. You got to be careful walking this path, because if you're telling yourself I am this, I am that, just using it purely as a vocal affirmation to oneself, but it's a lie as you're saying it, then that can be
detrimental to the outcome of what you're wanting to be able to experience in the first place.
Yes, thank you, Kevin. Yeah, exactly. And it can be almost like you're lying to this higher power that I've been talking about, because you're saying it, but you don't believe it. And God talks a whole lot about belief. A whole lot about trust.
And that's why number 7 then becomes important. Identify your areas of negativity. You've got to be able to have an honest conversation with yourself so that you can have an honest conversation with other people.
Yes, and with God. So if you're telling yourself I am, and then following with a lie, a better way to go about this is recognizing what that lie is, and then say, I am taking care of this lie by doing blank.
Correct. And then number 8, start every day on a positive note. When I wake up in the morning, aside from going to the restroom, which is a human experience,
Thanks for sharing.
I then find something positive to be able to think about, to be able to talk about, and something positive to do. Whether I'm giving myself credit for being able to comb my own hair, give myself credit for being able to wash my own body, giving positive affirmations to myself as I'm going through it. Because just because you can do it doesn't mean that you're actually growing through it.
Yeah.
And so you need to be able to use these positive affirmations. Thank you, God, for the ability to be able to do whatever I am doing in the morning to prepare myself for what I have to do later on in the day. Whether if you have a just over broke opportunity called a job, or if you have a career, it's the same mindset. You have to be able to wake up to it every day with a fresh new start of how to be able to conquer your day, right?
Yeah.
So why not really take the time to learn on how to be able to start your day off right so that the rest of your day becomes what you have set in the first place?
Yeah. No, listen closely, listeners, to that. Even listen to it again if you need to, because this is a complete transformation from a life without purpose, a life of complaining, a life of kind of getting yourself down about the daily things that you need to do, and switching it into a life of purpose. When you have a life of purpose and it's involved in every area of your life, even the morning routines and the things that are kind of more monotonous and less fun to do, less exciting, I guess you could say, then injecting that purpose into the little things in the day brings a whole lot more purpose and also ability within yourself to stay purposeful throughout the big things in life. If you catch yourself complaining, even mentally, even just in your thought life, complaining about what you're doing in the moment, it's important to be able to do what Kevin's advising us to do here and switch our minds from that negative to a positive. Even if you don't feel positive, you can still have that mental reflection. You can still kind of get yourself started in harmonizing and resonating with that energy of positivity so that you can then transfer into a purpose-filled life instead of one of complaint.
Yes, because mindset matters.
Yes, it does.
And the questions that you ask yourself and the things that you do over the course of your morning, your afternoon, and evening determine your outcome in the end of your day.
Yeah.
So it's important that not only do you have positive quotes, positive sayings infiltrated throughout your day in your thought process, but it's nice to also have them on the wall as well, in your journal as well, so that you start to be able to literally adopt these ways of thinking and these ways of doing so that that problem or issue that you have no longer will adopt you in it.
Yeah, and coming from a younger generation here, Kevin, it's important if you are noticing that you're following some social media accounts that are giving out kind of positive negatives. Some of this dark humor can be involved here, but it's more of a worshiping of your own limitations type of mindset that I see a whole lot on social media, not because I follow these accounts, but because I'm friends with people who often share these types of posts, that if you are noticing a lot of that on your Facebook or on whatever social media, follow some positive ones instead. Follow some accounts that have the positive injections that will go into your everyday life when you are checking social media and surfing through those news feeds.
Yeah, because you have a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And in the growth mindset is where you really want to be able to shine. Because in the fixed mindset is all the things that are negative and derogatory that just keeps weighing you down, keeps enslaving you in the environment that you're in, and it keeps really a tab or a hold of you in a manner to where you're not proud of it.
Yeah, and you may not even realize it at the time because oftentimes it's keeping you in a position of kind of comfort, but still kind of uncomfortability. So you feel comfortable there, but you know it's not where you want to be. But at the same time, you may not be conscious of what exactly it is that's holding you there.
So mindset So if you were to break down every letter in mindset, it means something. Let me explain.
Okay.
M is learn from mistakes.
Yeah, big one.
I is always keep improving. N, I will be number one. D is stay determined. S, I will succeed. E is wake up early. And T is always be thankful, and to be able to always pass on to other people the value that you have found in yourself.
Yeah, that's a great summary of everything we've talked about so far.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some people believe that these positive affirmations are going to be the game changer in their life, but there really can't be a game changer in your life if you don't believe in it. And so having a habit of positive affirmations isn't exactly enough. That's a first step. That's a getting started type of scenario. When you allow these positive affirmations to actually resonate with you, when you allow these positive affirmations to actually be acted on throughout your daily life, you're not just telling yourself you are empowered. You're not just telling yourself that you are overcoming anxiety or whatever it is. And instead, you are actually acting on that, doing what you can in daily action to do more than just tell yourself that you're overcoming. Then you'll see that these positive affirmations make change within yourself much quicker, and you can resonate with them much quicker. You'll actually feel yourself becoming more positive, feeling less of those negative feelings, feeling more of those positive feelings, but only if those affirmations are followed by action.
Yes. And so a positive thinker sees the invisible, feels the intangible, and achieves the impossible, right? The reason why that is always in threes is because all positive things come in threes. And if you've listened to our podcast enough, you will realize that and really look forward to it, because all the negatives come in 10s and 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s and on, right? But positives comes in threes, and it's always something that you can be able to handle very simply because it's just a 3-step process.
Yeah, simplification is really a powerful thing. If you can simplify your life, you can really get a hold of and gain clarity on many areas of your life.
Mm-hmm. And the first two is, one is attitude, the second is effort, right?
Okay.
So if you can be able to really master those two, starting out of the gate, attitude and effort, then your ability, number 3, becomes a natural thing each and every day, because you literally are, with your attitude and your efforts, allowing it to be able to manifest naturally in who you are, so that you can naturally be it today.
Yeah, for sure. Big time. Big time.
So even if you stumble, you're still moving forward.
That's right. Yeah, you're falling forward.
Falling forward.
Not falling on your butt, but falling on your knees.
Mm-hmm. Because positive thinking must be followed by positive doing. So a lot of people get trapped into the feel-good positive mindset movement without the positive doing afterwards.
Right.
So please keep that in mind, because I love it when the coffee kicks in. I realize what an adorable, badass I am about being able to conquer the day. And the reason why I say that is because when you fill your coffee cup up with coffee, you're filling and making it whole and complete. And as the coffee cup is filling up, you want to be able to then fill up your heart, your mind, your soul, to be able to really become that incredible person that God designed you to be, so that when you pick up that cup, that full cup of opportunity, you can be able to then take a positive swallow and be able to really energize your life in the way that matters most throughout your day. Right?
Right. If you have just an empty cup, then that doesn't serve a function. If it's filled with coffee, it's serving its function. And for you to be filled means that you have to serve the function of who you're created to be.
Right. So train your mind to be the good in everything. because life is only as good as your mindset.
Yeah, we hope that you feel like you're being filled up right now with with positive content.
There you go. So make the difference. Make the mind shift. Always keep a positive mindset. Always be positive. And if you can't be always positive, find the positives in the negatives and then get like a battery and get recharged.
Yeah. And Kevin, I want to mention something here. Did you know that even some of the best prophets in the Old Testament, in our Bible, had moments of negativity, had moments where they even felt like just dying because they didn't want to go on? It happens in everyone's life. It happened even in some of the most powerful. Elijah is who I'm thinking of specifically here. Wanted to die when he realized that, his efforts and his show of power in his relationship with God didn't have the lasting effect that he thought it would have on Israel at the time.
Right.
And so he got very down in the dumps when that happened. And this is another reason why having a higher power that you can kind of fall into the arms of in life is so important. Because if you're just doing it alone, then you have no one to fall into. You have no one to be able to help lift you back up on your feet. No one to be able to feed you with positivity so that you can move forward and continue to get back on that track that you were on and not let it drag you back into the pit that you were once in.
So, in conclusion, keep the same 3-step process that always works. Emotionally, get connected to what works for you. Spiritually, take the need to be able to recognize it takes more than you to be able to see you through it.
Yeah.
And then physically, go out and prove to yourself that you're worthy to be able to achieve it. And then you'll find everyone else right beside you at the finish line awaiting you for your great arrival.
That's quite some beautiful imagery there, Kevin.
Thank you, Noah.
Now, before we go, we want to give you a heads up of what is in store for the next podcast here at the OIC and what's in store for In a New Way LLC.
So we got you journaling. So we got you on the right track there and creating a pathway. Next, we got your mental state of awareness going into full swing so that you can be able to be completely taken care of emotionally, physically, and spiritually, right?
Yeah, being a filled coffee cup, not just an empty cup or coffee spilled all over the floor.
The next natural transaction or the next available thing to work on is mentorship, leadership, and your decision-making process as a human being on how to be able to be a leader within yourself so that you can be a winner to everyone else.
Yeah, because it's more than just being a doer. It's being an example setter. So that brings everyone else in your life, even strangers, into the mix.
Yes. So number 3 in our podcast is going to be covering exactly that. How to be able to be the you that God created you to be.
Amen. If you did gain some positive benefits from this podcast, we'd love to hear about it in the comments section. Meet us also at our website, inanewway.com. Of course, there's tons of insights, podcasts, videos, all kinds of content there for you, even some courses, and we look forward to meeting you on the next episode.